Around 745 million people are without access to electricity today. That's 9.3% of the world's population. Basically, if someone is getting born today, they get a 9.3% chance of actually living in an environment with no electricity. The problem is that everybody needs electricity for their survival, productivity, effectiveness, and if they don't, they are isolated from the rest of the world, which limits their opportunities. Because of this, the UN created a goal to bring universal, affordable, and clean energy. It is actually under the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, the 7th. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to discuss the 7th Sustainable Development Goal, affordable and clean energy. Now, you might have questions like what is even meant with clean energy? And what kind of energy access is even meant? Or even questions like what progress has been made? And what are the challenges we are currently facing? And of course, what can you do to actually support this goal? So stick around if you want to get informed. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get straight into the topic. So first question is, what is actually meant with clean energy? With clean energy, basically is meant energy gained from sources that do not release air pollutants. However, it is important to note that clean energy doesn't immediately mean green energy. For example, nuclear power is also clean, but it isn't renewable, and people like to mix them. The problem here is that unsustainable energy would run out of resources eventually, and of course, air pollutants cause harm to our world, as we know. So, to keep it simple here are some examples for clean energy. We got solar energy, wind energy, ocean energy, and also nuclear power. So, these are counted as clean energy, which should be basically accessible to everyone. But what access is actually meant? So we know that there should be an universal access, which basically means that 100% of the global population should have access to electricity. But what kind of access? Well, there should be energy for 4 hours of phone time for each individual, so they can actually access the internet. And when they can access the internet, they got so many more opportunities, they got so much more knowledge to actually consume. And that is not only beneficial for them, but also for the rest of the world. So giving people access to the internet is a win-win situation on both sides. And they should also have energy to be able to cook, of course, and survive. And basic lighting should be accessible as well. So in the night, when it's getting dark, they should be able to have light to study or to do whatever they want. Now, you probably wonder what progress has been made. Now, to analyze the progress that has been made, here is a graph that shows the number of people without access to electricity worldwide. The black chart represents Asia and the blue Africa. As you can see, in the year 2000, Asia was over 1,000 million people without electricity. And in 2023, just 100 million. That is a very good improvement. However, if we look at the sub-Saharan Africa, which is almost the whole Africa as you can see right here, we can see that it got worse. Probably because they produce so many children. Just kidding, guys. But they actually do. They have a fertility rate of 5 children per woman. So even though the population in Africa is increased to not have access to electricity, we know that in general there has been improvement. But the goal is to reach universal access, as we know that is 100% of the population by the end of 2030. Now you might ask, well, how are they going to do that? Well, that is a good question because they will probably not. A study has been made where $30 billion should be invested every single year to reach this goal. And with the current pace and policies, we'll only make it around 660 million. And this is due to COVID and the invasion of Ukraine. And this even increased the number of people without electricity. So let us now talk about the challenges. So like I said, conflicts like in Ukraine make this goal hard to achieve, or pandemics. Any crisis makes it hard to reach universal access to energy. But that is just a small challenge which we can't really control. Instead of focusing on Europe, let's rather focus on Africa, because as we know, that is the place where most people are without electricity. The big problem there is that many are not able to afford clean energy. And this brings us also to the next problem, which is that there is simply not enough money provided from governments and international communities, etc. Another big challenge is building the infrastructure in remote places. For example, places where there are a lot of mountains, or maybe there is a desert, or maybe there are no streets, and this just makes building the infrastructure really, really hard. So with all that being said, now let us come to the question, what can you actually do to support this goal? Well, you can try to reduce your energy consumption. For example, try to use more public transportations, or try using bikes or walking, or you can reduce your air travel. But in my opinion, the most important thing is that you raise awareness or just support the renewable energy goals. So whenever there is a new policy, try to support that or try to respect current policies. What also works is trying to raise awareness. Just like me with this video right now, I'm trying to make people aware that this problem is actually serious. So with all that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching this YouTube video, and I hope you guys have learned something from this video. And of course, it would be cool if you are trying to help and support this goal. And with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.